Hey, Spuddies, Potatomcwhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Imperator Rome. So we are going to spend a little bit of time managing our nation, just kind of letting things heal up. I want to make sure that I just get a little bit of advancement. We're about 50 years into the game, so I feel like we've expanded pretty well. We're looking to be taking Taurinia, Venetia, Liburnia, and Istria on in a war soon. So what we want to do is make sure we have a stable nation behind us, because we're going to be taking a lot, and I mean a lot of aggressive expansion. And a lot of the areas that we're expanding into are not going to be of our culture, so that's going to make things very difficult for us. So I just want to make sure that I have the stability of my realm set up. So I'm going to just focus on converting as much as I can in areas where I feel that it is necessary. For example, over here there's also some colonization we could do here. There's 3 more provinces that we can grab, and over here in Ficaria I'm going to move some Roman pops into Ficaria, and that way we should be able to... The dominant culture is not correct here, so let us just assimilate one of these, and that should make it dominant. Really? Let's assimilate one more. Now it's Roman, so we should be able to settle. Now over here in Ropicum, we need to do a similar thing. We need to bring in a couple of pops. So we'll move like a couple of slaves here to Ropicum. Then we should be able to colonize, no problem. So that's that managed. What I want to do is my capital province is going to be heavily based on having a citizen and slave economy. So it's going to be really geared towards income. So I think we basically don't need any of these training camps. So I'm going to go through and delete training camps wherever I see them, because our goal is not to get manpower from here. I do want to have a little bit of freemen just so we can grow them. But yeah, training camps I don't think make much sense, since we're not planning on having a whole lot of them. We really want this area geared towards civilization and income. That's why we're going to be pushing markets and granaries in here. So we're going to be looking for provinces with like unhappy slaves are good candidates for granaries. Like we could slap a granary in here to make these slaves a little bit happier. Let's have a look around. Most of them are pretty happy. There's a few here in the capital that are less happy, so I'm thinking another granary in here would be a little bit of an output boost for a lot of these guys. Because a 4th granary would be a total of 10% happiness in here for these guys. And it's also a little bit of pop growth, which is pretty negligible, but it's basically an extra pop every 100 years, which isn't amazing. But otherwise, I'm going to do a lot of marketplaces in my capital province. Let's go ahead and switch to... So this will hopefully result in a higher income and a bunch of other great stuff as a result. You already see some of these troops have become loyal to this guy. That means he is going to slowly take loyalty penalties. So we need to be very careful. Now that we're starting to assign these provincial armies, we're going to start taking some penalties. Also, in terms of conversion, where am I running conversion policies? Okay, I'm not running it anywhere. So we can spend some of this stuff to, in particular, citizens are who I'm most interested in converting. So I'll spend down to about 400 points here. And my hope is that by making these citizens be of my religion, they will gain a little bit of happiness and start actually producing. Even if it is really inefficient, it's fine. Now, I'm curious, what is this aristocratic dismay penalty I'm taking? This is some sort of penalty I took, right? I think it might be. Decision-wise, embellish the temple of Jupiter Maximus. So expanding the Campus Martius would give me manpower recovery speed, cohort starting experience, and cohort recruit speed. So that'd be a good one to pick up. I'm going to let time just tick for a month here to see what my economy looks like now that I've done some updates. It's not looking too bad. We've got an unused trade route in here. The army maintenance cost here from Salt is actually worth it, because we are starting now to pay a decent amount of change for our army. So a 10% reduction should be fairly significant over the course of a campaign. Wages are starting to come down too, but they're always growing because we're always hiring new people. So is it time now to get to war? Well, really, I'm just going to let time unpause here. I would like to get up to like 50,000 manpower, so there's probably like 3 years of peace ahead of us. There's another civic advance, which means there might be an invention here in the civic area. Tribesman output, research points plus 10%. For sure we want to take that because our research efficiency is dropping because of all the aggressive expansion that we have. A little bit of national commerce income might not be awful. Monthly general loyalty, I'm going to pick that one up. That's always a good one. As we get all these marketplaces into position. So I think I'm done. Now that I have the enslavement efficiency, I might go ahead and go for the siege area here. The faster I can siege, the more manpower I have, although I could start doing military roads. But I think I'd like to be able to construct border forts. So being able to do that would be good. And then I can come down here and get light infantry and heavy infantry cost reduction. I won't be really using archers much because I don't really have many benefits for archers. Like there's archers hills combat. Archers are slightly better than light infantry, but the advantage of light infantry is that they are cheap and light. So let's have a look at our unrest map mode. We have a significant amount of unrest, so I think running the Blessing of Fortuna again is for sure worth it. And that will reduce, not necessarily eradicate, but definitely reduce to a significant portion the amount of unrest we're suffering. So yeah. I could expand this army as well, if I wanted to. I'm going to let them just operate independently within their own borders. Now, in terms of... This one will probably want to have a second army or even a slightly bigger army eventually. So I could lose a bunch of gold. Or my censor loses loyalty. I think I'm okay with the censor losing loyalty, in all honesty. We have another invention. Standardized measures. A national commerce income of 5% would represent a significant boost to our ducat income. Tribesman output. Omen power is really good over a long period of time, so I'm going to go ahead and grab Omen power, because that means more national unrest reduction. It means any other policy that I run is just more effective. There you go, Venetia. You can have military access. You should not be standing here just taking random attrition. Why are you so heavy? It's because you're using archers. All right, I'm going to actually get rid of... I can't get rid of these archers. I wish I could. I wish there was a way for me to retool this army. I'm going to have to wait till this guy dies. He's 46, so it shouldn't be too long. What's the current weight of this army? It's a little bit too heavy, is the problem. That's why I want to get rid of it. I could cut some other stuff. I mean, it's a really strong army for combat, but it's just too heavy. Okay. Alright, province loyalty. Is there anywhere I'm losing province loyalty? That's the real question that we want to look out for. It looks like everywhere is gaining loyalty, so I'm pretty happy. Let's let some manpower tick up. I think maybe we'll go around a year or so. I could probably also colonize again over here. And now the culture will start actively flipping. We have this entire province to ourselves now. Fort-wise, it would be good to get a fort in this province because it's a mountain, and mountains have a supply limit reduction, which means it's kind of harder to fit an army in there to siege it, and it also protects a lot of this. So we'll put a fort in there, And then to defend this farmland, we'll probably put a fort here. And here, and then here as well eventually. But for now, I'll put 2 forts in here just to provide a little bit of defense to all these provinces around here. Okay. I'm also trying to bleed off some of my aggressive expansion too, which would be helpful. Because I'm going to take a lot in this war. I might even go above 50, which is why I want to actually fabricate claims on as many of these people that I plan to go to war with as possible. So, for example, in Taurinia, we're going to fabricate on there. In Venetia, we're going to fabricate there. And then on this guy, we're going to fabricate on Liburnia. And then on this guy, we're going to fabricate on... Which one is it? The closer one? Lotto... Yeah. So there's 4 claims, and then we'll declare the war. Probably, well, I guess we could probably get the war started once this fort is done. He's got 17 cohorts. I could probably do it a second army over there. You actually can't make it. I'm gonna bring this lighter army. I also have a legion down here that I think I'm gonna bring up. So let's get these boats down. Kind of forgot about down here. It's easy to forget this. I probably would want to recruit a small army to give to this guy. Eventually I want to conquer Greece. But culturally they follow me now. It probably would be worth it to change this. Let's have a look at the culture map mode. Roman. Yeah, everyone in here is Roman. And there's not a whole lot of tribesmen. So it might be good to do the thing that like evens out the pops. Social mobility. It will hurt the existing citizens, but it might create more. It'll probably get rid of some citizens. Maybe we will go for... Let's have a look. These guys are happy. Civilization effort. Probably not worth it to do a civilization effort also. Definitely want more slaves over here. I'm trying to think. What could I do? Social mobility isn't a terrible one, like in all honesty. Yeah, we'll just leave it. We'll just leave it for now. We'll mess around with that when we have a more significant thing to change. Okay, we got our fortress. Let's go ahead and declare the war. Our goal is to take Venetia. Now, out of curiosity, you actually can't be used in aggression. You're going to hang out there until your reinforcing army gets over there. You're going to go siege this down. You're going to go siege this down. And you are going to be on... they're probably going to do... What are they made up? Light infantry and stuff. So they're probably going to either do skirmishing or deception. So I want something that counters skirmishing. Looks like envelopment is my best move there. So they did envelopment too, which is a mistake, in my opinion. Get in there. Let's siege these down. And I have another army over here that I was going to get on the boat. Doesn't seem to be a way to put an army on a boat while it's in dock, which kind of sucks. And then let's get you guys up here. I thought I had the boats selected. I'm going to disembark you over here in Pola and then get you to push into this nation here. Oh, this nation. Oh, you can actually attack over here. That's interesting. You're on independent operations, so you're doing your own thing. I'm going to put you on skirmishing. That'll reduce the number of casualties you take. Even if you're countered, you'll not take quite a bad casualties. And interestingly, this independent army sent the slaves to this. That is very interesting. That is cool that the armies will act independently. Now this is a very... There's a lot of chariots and stuff in there, so I don't want to fight that until I have this second stack over. But that is so cool. One of them was sent to Roma, which is interesting. So it looks like it might be just randomly sent. I was wondering if like an independent army would send them. So this is the General of Legion 5. I don't want him getting his own thing, so I'm going to say nope. He's got some loyal cohorts, which is making him a little bit disloyal. That's this guy over here. Why are you starving in here? Because you were looted. That makes sense. You head in here, grab that siege. Excellent. We captured some pops. So in terms of war, we have Venetia secured. So let's go ahead and... We've got 2 forts down here. Let's go ahead and start securing some of this land. Invention-wise, tech progress is going well. So we were on skirmishing, and they were on... Who knows what that one is? What? Looks like a little bit of a bug there. We have a new leader who is in the religious faction, and it's actually really sad because I just did a bunch of conversion, and the religious faction actually gives you a convert pop cost reduction, which would have been good had I realized that was going to happen. Fortunately, these things aren't always predictable. So whatever the weird tactic they were using, we won, I guess, because our troop quality was slightly higher. Cavalry beats archers, archers beat light infantry. So you can kind of see that reflected in the casualties. We took a lot of light infantry casualties, but they took a lot more. You guys are almost together. We'll soon be ready to fight. I like this whole independent operations thing, because if I'm at war with somebody inside of this Illyria region, this army will just do what it needs to do to support me, which I really, really like that. It means there's less micromanagement, especially when you're managing like such a huge empire like the Roman Empire. I'm going to be making a lot of use of that. Although the danger is, of course, loyalty and stuff like that. Ooh, the warm period. So this is going to give us a national unrest reduction and a massive pop growth boost for 10 years. So I expect our population level is going to increase dramatically. Excellent. So it does look like some of them are being sent to these. It looks like it might... It looks like it sends them to the capital, like, pretty regularly. But then it also sends them to, like, the capital... Like, if I capture troops near here, it'll, like, look for a nearby capital and be like, hey, I'm going to send them here, for example, which is interesting. It means there's a few slaves in here from wrong cultures and stuff like that, which is, it's pretty cool. I like it. So we've essentially won the war against Venice, and the rest of this is cleaning up his allies. So I'm going to send this second army up to go get this siege done. And our goal is to expand a lot in this war, and then spend some time at peace, consolidating our power, and then looking to expand again. So you're doing a good job. I'm going to let you independently operate. That's fine. I really want to link up this territory too, so this army can be a little bit more independent. So let's go ahead and grab and kill these retinues and war hosts cooperatively. Should be an obliteration. Excellent. So let's go siege down their cities. Actually, you should stay here. Well, you've already moved. Okay. So if I'm going to assign these troops to a governor, it might be good to pick governors with good martial skill too. Although the martial skill of the governor would make them more likely to join them. Oh no, it's the charisma. And his charisma is relatively low. That's interesting. That's a really interesting mechanic. Light infantry morale. That would let my light infantry be better damage soaks. Looks like these guys, this Patriae is stealing my my slaves. So Archon is Igon. We will become friends with him. That's fine. So this guy, who is in lead of a legion, is now sick as hell. I'd like to keep him around a bit longer, because he is a general and he's commanding a good army. So I think I'm going to seek treatment for this guy and help him survive a little bit longer. Gain commitment to the civic faction. Now hopefully, I have noticed sometimes that your family pools stop having kids, like some of these things, like, and I can't like arrange marriages between them, which is grant capitulatory honors. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and finish these guys off. I like the idea of using a bit more independent operations on troops to let them just like do what they need to do. That's a cool idea, because it's a lot of micromanagement on a multi-front war, a lot of pausing, a lot of like scrolling around and clicking on things. But we should get a lot of value. In fact, actually, I think I can increase my siege progress here with a boat, because that is a port. We've captured more people. We want to definitely siege down these provinces individually and get as many slaves sent to my capital as possible, because that will then mean more surplus goods, and you know, the bigger the surplus, the more money you make. Like for example, each additional cloth is plus 5% local tax, which makes our slaves even more efficient. So like just cramming as many slaves into these places as possible is really good. Okay, we have taken on these guys. Let's go ahead and siege down these. Nice. Good stuff. So our siege efficiency is so high now that we can just like rip through. We can just rip through countries. Quintus died of dysentery. That's unfortunate. That was the guy. I think I was actually seeking treatment for him. Was he in charge of an army? No, he was not. Interesting. So if we look at this war, right? Before we even, like, you know, end this war, we've already taken 21 slaves, which is great, because I think it's each slave is worth... Damn, I can't remember what the base is, but I think it's... If these guys are producing at a double efficiency, like 0.03 base tax each. So that represents like a decent chunk of change, and not only that, but more pops and more just everything for my empire. So these guys are almost done. Should be able to negotiate a bunch of separate pieces with our enemies here. Now, the mountains in here is rough terrain. That is real rough. This is all mountains. So this is going to be hell to fight in. And armies in here are like, there's almost no supply for these armies. That's why we're burning manpower like crazy. Isis of Kosei. So they want to set up a little cult home over here. I'm actually okay with this. Like that doesn't bother me. We've got a little Hebrew city just filled with citizens, which is just somehow really fun to me. Are you culture converting? I mean, there's no reason to not. I mean, there's no reason not to convert, but there's also like, I guess converting does technically make these guys more efficient as pops. Also, let's get another one of these. Is this city growing at like an insane rate still? Yeah, it's got that crazy Neapolis modifier. Oh, speaking of decisions, we're going to do this. This is manpower recovery speed and also cohort recruit speed. And what that should do is boost our manpower recovery from 1,000 a month to... We can expand this again. Oh no, we already did it. Ah, so I can implement Corinth. If I go to Corinth. Oh, it's K. Corinthus. So if I take this over... I can implement Corinth as a local capital and get a bunch of my culture and religion in here. That's interesting. We will eventually want to take on Greece, but we're trying to expand up to here and stuff like that. Ideally, we want to expand in every direction. We want to take over Spain. We want to basically reach the reaches of the Roman Empire. But this is going to be... Let me quickly finish this war. Okay, so individually piecing out people. I need to finish the siege. This guy is done, so we can sue for peace with him. And we will take a little bit of aggressive expansion because we have claims, I thought. I thought I would take a little bit less expansion penalty for this. I guess I am, technically, but we're going to piece these guys out. Now, what is the culture in here like? The culture in here is actually acceptable, so I think I'm going to pass judgment and actually take these families on board into my country because they're of my culture group. And what that'll do is that'll just expand the pool of characters that I can draw from in my empire. It will mean more people are disloyal and it's harder to manage, but it means I have more people I can assign as governors and stuff. But I'm going to call that the end of the episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this series. I love you all very much. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. I'll finish the war. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Quickly. Finish the war. Finish the war. Damn it. Quickly finish the war. And that way we have a new war for the next episode. Okay, piece you guys out. You guys have taken a single province. How rude. Can you force march over there, even if it means you take attrition? Okay. Now these guys are the wrong culture, so I'm not going to accept them back into Rome. Sue for peace. Give me your land. These guys will be put to the sword to reduce our aggressive expansion. Now, the thing here... I believe we have a chance to civilize this because we're beside it. I'm not really sure how the civilizing the... barbarian strongholds works, but hopefully we'll be able to bring up the civilization value of these barbarian areas. So now we can piece this guy out. What possible province do you own that is preventing you from piecing out? We own everything you own. How long is the war been going? I guess we could just wait till June, which is only a couple months away. Ah! So this infection that this guy had has gone away, which means he's going to live a little bit longer, which is excellent. Let's see for peace here. Give me all of your land. Aggressive expansion goes up. What is the culture in here? The culture is wrong. So we will put the characters down. Now these guys are of the right culture, so we'll be keeping these. And yes, that does hurt our popularity, but the advantage of this is now if I go into my characters pool, I have like a much bigger pool of characters to draw from. And these guys, although they're like Venetic and stuff like that, they will show up, for example, when I want to make a governor over here, for example. Let me see if I can find someone who is... This was not the guy that I wanted to make here, but I guess he's it now. I was looking for somebody who is maybe of a different culture. But basically, I have a larger pool of characters to draw from now from doing that. And I've also expanded my nation. We also want to have a look at our regional map mode and stuff like that. Ratia is going to want its own army eventually. Like, we got some serious unrest will be... Well, I tell a lie. We have absolutely no unrest. At all. Whatsoever. Like, at all. I guess we could just keep expanding. I'm gonna call... Right, again, I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.